Hey guys, I'm out here with Jax today. Jack's in for a 30-day training program, and we're going to be trying to tackle reactivity. And for the last 2 or 3 days, with all this rain, I've been working inside the house, 2-3 times a day, short and sweet little sessions, and you will see him working now. We basically introduce him to the lure, to food, and getting him to follow the hands, the target hand, and understand that the click means he's going to get treated and get his reward. And he's a smart dog. Obviously, pit bulls are very smart, intelligent animals. And this guy has German short-haired pointer in him. Great color. Let's see if I can show you the color. Come on. Yay, good boy. Come on. Nice spot on the back and normal colors that you have with that. So he's got the bird dog in him and he's got pit bull in him. And makes for a different breed, but with a bird dog, very receptive to working. First couple of days he of course pouted and was a little stressed out because he wasn't at home. And now he's bonded with me for the most part. And he's being receptive to the food, and he understands now that he's coming into work. So we've got a communication baseboard going on. Jax, if I didn't say it, is in for reactivity. He gets very excited and starts lunging at the end of the leash. He's been in a couple dogs fights. He's been at the dog park. And so today I wanted to show you him work and then talk about some of my philosophies in my dog training that I have that are what I am into. I am what they call a fair and balanced trainer. That means that I will use positive with click treat, motivation with toys, anything that works. And I use a lot of the science of dog training in that regards. I'm very aware of what's going on in that regards. A lot of studying, a lot of reading up and learning and what's going on out there today with this. At the same time, I will use an aversive, other tools, pinches, stem collars, etc. And there's, for those of you people that aren't as aware of dog training and what's going on out there, I've been training dogs, as I've said before, since I was 12. Started at a very young age, back in the 70s. Moved from my hometown at 18 years of age after working for a training firm from 16 years of age. For 2 years I was out giving classes and working in parks back when they had trainers that were in parks. I worked for a firm by the name of Canine Behavior Center for 2 years. And then I wanted to do, as a young man, all I wanted to do was train protection dogs. And I had a German Shepherd at the time, by the name of Sergeant. And Sergeant, I trained from a puppy all through his obedience into protection. Had friends of mine that I taught how to do the protection, believe it or not. Following a trainer back then by the name of Keeler, William Keeler, spelled K-H-O-L-E-R, believe it or not. A lot of people pronounce it Kohler, but it's actually Keeler. And he was a Walt Disney trainer that was famous and very well known back in the day. And back then we didn't have much reading materials on this dog training per se, and everybody was doing it. Nowadays they call this yank and crank. It's basically avoidance training is what we did back then, and everybody did it. Nowadays, taking its place in popularity and in understanding of dog training, the science of dog training and learning in general, we use what's called marker training, which is a derivative of click treat. Became very popular through Karen Pryor and her dog, Don't Shoot the Dog, her book, excuse me. That became prevalent back in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. I'm not really even sure what the date of her book was, but that's kind of when I fell out. I fell out, I've been out of dog training for 10, 12 years, maybe even 15. Because I went into other things. But I had given up half of my life for dog training since I was 12 all the way until I was about 24, 25 years of age and older. When I was with Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer, me and him used to hang around real heavy I lived in this place on 163rd for a couple of years. Me and Caesar were totally different in our approaches to our training, but we had something in common. We were both started at a very young age, started working with animals, and we had an instinctive ability to work with animals. Caesar was a lot like me in that respect, but you'll notice his stuff is what I call holistic. He's not really teaching heel, sit down, stay. You don't ever hear him talking about heel, sit down, stay. All you hear him talking about is getting a dog to calm down and handling behaviors with what he calls energy. Me and him used to have many long hours of discussion as far as that goes, because I don't relate it to energy. I call it, which it is though, after watching the show for as long as I haven't seen Caesar for 20 years, I don't know how long it's been. I was with Caesar when Andre was first born. So Andre was born, and that's when I was around him. That's my marker on time that lets me know when I was there. But I get into teaching a dog behaviors and heel, sit down, stay, come and finish, and all the things, and understanding the way a dog's mind works in regards to dog psychology. And you'll notice this dog right now is hanging on this table. Good. It's because we just started this just yesterday. We started it yesterday, and we've been accenting it and going over a little bit more. And what we're after is we're after our good marker. Come on. Good. Good. And I'm basically teaching him good to stay. Good. Without the force that we would have used in the old days, where I would have waited for the dog to break and I would have corrected him by dragging him back to where he was at. Good. We now have this marker that's a duration marker, and I start it right here on the downstays. Good. Because it tells the dog right away with my behavior and patterns. Everything's patterns and routines. Good. Then I'm going to return to him and the food goes to him. So, back to Jackson, his whole thing. What I've done, and I'm going to do, yes, good boy, good, is build a relationship. The most important thing I do, this guy's in for reactivity, so I'm going to have to go out and start testing the environment and see how he reacts to dogs and see where his head's at out in the environment. But at first, I want nothing but a relationship, so I spend 2-3 days doing nothing but food, positive, and building a relationship with the animal, so that when I go out in the parks and start trying to touch on these other things and the behaviors that he's got a problem with, psychological problems, nothing more than he hasn't been associated with it properly, I will have this available to me. Good. So I wanted to show you Jax after 3 days of working and how fast it works if you've got a good flow for it. So right now what we're going to do, I'm teaching him to break as well, which is he's hanging on this table, and we just started with a toy here. Jax, good boy, good. Jax, yep, good boy, yay! And we're implementing this yield. Yep, good boy, now let's go. Good boy, good, good boy, Jax, good. Nope, yeah, good, there you go. Good boy. And when I first introduced that toy to him, he was, he'd go out there, he was nervous for the first couple of days. He slobbered, he was very nervous. He's over his nervousness now. And he would run after the toy. Don't do that, I'm going to lose the tooth. And he would not grab it. So now he's grabbing the toy. Good. Good. So what I've done is start implementing this break, which means it's from where he's out there into being happy and going after and chasing his toy. Good. So that he can learn that it's a crescendo is what it is. In a nutshell, it's a crescendo. And we get anticipation to build. He may be pausing, and all of a sudden we'll yep, and he'll get to break. And you throw that into our patterns and routines so that you can get drive. Everything's about drive. If the dog doesn't have any drive and engagement is going to be with you, good, then you can do very little. Yep, good, come on. All right, Jax, good. We're going to put this up, Jax, because I want to see if I can get you healing and following our target hand. Yay. Good boy. Jax, heel. Good boy. General rule of thumb when we're doing this is we don't give a word first. we do the behaviors, and then we get a word that we pair with it after we get the behaviors going and started. We'll start pairing it with a word. Well, he's been doing this enough now that he can start getting paired the word for heel. Jax, heel. Good boy. Notice my hand's right there, so he's going after that target hand. Good. And then he's also been doing that down long enough now that I can start giving a down. I'm already at food. I gotta remember to stock up on more than a couple hot dogs, Jax. Heel. Good boy, good. But I wanted you to see Jax, where he's at now, and then get an idea of what we've got going on in a couple of days. And then I might even see if I can get some film going outside. Good boy, good. You're a pretty dog. Yes, you are. So that we can start addressing the reactivity and talking about that. And nothing I'm doing is new. This stuff has been happening for the last 3, 5, 10 years. But we get better at it. The practice and efficiency, we get better at it. Good boy, good. All right, yes. Are you ready? Good. Yep. Ah, good boy, good, yeah. In a nutshell, what I'm doing, whether you realize it or not, is I am being very aware of, good boy, good. Drive, the dog's drive state. Where's mental mind is at in the work? Good boy, good. Yep, good boy. And keeping the drive state and awareness of the drive state. Where is the dog's head at in the work? And that's a big saying of mine. I've been saying it for a while, incorporating it, and then good boy, good. Yep. So we know we're going to be able to get some toy out of them. I'm just testing things, whether you realize it or not. This isn't something I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 days. Yep, good boy. I'm right now touching on these little things, patterns that I know I can use so that I can get the dog trained. And we'll keep building on these patterns. Good boy, good. Oh, I'm sorry, Jax. He's not used to slippery floors, so get used to it. Good boy. Good boy. All right. Oh, he's got some drive. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yep. Which means I'm going to be able to use all this as we get going. And I'm finding out that he goes after his toy and he does chew it, so we've got some good things going. Okay, I'll come back to you with Jax, the Reactive Pit Bull German Short-Haired Pointer, in a few days. See you guys later. Have a good day. Jax, come here. Say hi. Say goodbye. Say bye. Good boy. Okay, we'll check it out in a couple days and I'll show you some more. Have a good day, guys.